Hi, kitty cats. So this is kind of going to be an extra video I'm going to make this week. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Like, I'm not going to overly advertise this video because I feel like, I don't know, like, this is just some opinions of mine. And I know it's not going to be like a well-liked opinion. I know that some people might not, might not be, my YouTube followers might decline. And I've thought about this for the past few days or so. And I've talked about it with some of my friends, some of the people that live with me as well. And I kept saying I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let all this stuff blow over and stay away from it, because if it's saying something, either opinion you might have is like just asking for people to give you a problem. But I've never been very good at keeping my mouth shut. I am not a gossip channel. I'm not into that sort of thing. But there's some stuff that happens on YouTube that everybody knows about because it's just all over the place. Like, I'm looking at my subscriptions this morning and there was just so much about it. So many YouTubers talking about it that aren't gossip channels either, but they're talking about it. And so this is just me talking about this with you, telling you my opinion. And I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say and not take it the wrong way. So I'm going to talk about all the stuff that's been going on. The whole Jeffree Star, Manny MUA, Gabrielle Zamorna, Nikita Dragun, Laura Lee crap. What's funny is that, none of this is really funny, but what's odd would be the more appropriate word, is I've noticed other YouTubers also having the same thing happen to them. Not exactly about the same thing, but people like digging up old Twitter like tweets that are from 5, 7, 10 years ago. So here's my thing. I never was a person that hated on Jeffree Star. I, heard about his racist stuff a few years ago, and I looked it up and I researched it, and it was kind of old stuff. And some of the newer stuff I wasn't sure about. It all seemed kind of weird to me, because he just didn't seem like that to me. I'd never seen him say anything like that. And when I did see like this old video footage, I was like, that looks pretty old. And it turned out that it was pretty old. Like, we know that definitely now from, the Shane Dawson video that was discussed. And then he apologized about the way he acted when he was younger in a video not that long ago. And I was like, well, you know what? He seems very sincere to me. And I just left it at that. I watched some of his videos. I'm subscribed to him, but I don't watch all of them. Because they don't always interest me. And a lot of times they don't, to be honest. A lot of times I'm like, that looks stupid. Or he sometimes is a little too gross for me. Like, he says things that are a little too much for me, or, whatnot. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I want to, like, hear about that dude. Like, okay. Like, he talks a lot about his sex life and stuff. but I had him on my Snapchat, and I would watch his snaps, and I thought there were some things he did that I thought, wow, like he seems like a really decent person to me. Like, he had that car accident like a couple years ago, and he didn't even like sue the guy that hit him. The guy had no insurance, and he was just like, hey, I understand, I've been there, and said, don't worry about it, and just went out and got another car. And I was like, even rich people don't usually do that, you know? Like, say, don't worry about it when it comes to their car getting like messed up. And he did, and I thought, oh, it's really an amazing thing to do, and kind. And I think that's what everything comes down to in my life, is kindness. And if you watch my videos regularly, you know at the end I always talk about being kind. Because that's, to me, the most important thing, is to look at things through kindness. And not everybody does that, and nor does everybody have to do that. This is just the way I live my life. And yes, I say to remember to be kind, because I do think that if more of us were kind, the world would be a better place. But the fact is, there are some people that will never be kind. I'm not going to discuss who. I'm just going to say there are some people that are going to be kind, and there are some people that I myself will never deal with again in my life, probably because of things they've done. But then there have been other people who have done nasty things to me, and I have forgiven them because they have proven to me that they are a changed person. I think that's a big thing when it comes to all this stuff, is, has this person changed? Are they sincere when they say, oh, I've done a bad thing and I want to do the right thing now? So this whole thing, you know, that happened was that Gabriel Zamora put up this picture of him and Nikita Dragun, Laura Lee, and Manny MUA hanging out together, because they always hang out together. And may I say, they hang out with Joey Graceffa a lot too. And I noticed that nobody has said anything about him, and he has stayed far away from this situation as far as I can tell. So, and he hangs out with them a lot too. If you watch their Snapchats and Instagram stories, you see them hanging out a lot with each other. But the four of them, they just did this picture that actually had nothing to do with what happened. It was just a picture they took that they were copying this Kylie Jenner picture. And there really is a picture like that. You can go find it. Where they're like sticking their tongues out and flipping everybody off. So they did this picture, and then Gabriel Zamora decided to use it with a caption without talking to the rest of them first. Saying what was it? It was, "Bitch, our lives are better without you," or something like, "Bitch, you crying, but our lives are better without you." Something like that. And I know that's not word for word. I'm not looking things up word for word here. I'm just talking to you about my own feelings on it. So this was said, and everybody got into an uproar, and somebody dug up a bunch of pictures and tweets of different things these four people had done that seemed pretty racist. Gabriel Zamora had said the N-word. I don't remember what Nikita Dragun's thing was, but I've seen her get picked on before for certain things that I feel is not truth when it comes to her. Nikita Dragun is in many minorities already of her own. So, but I'm not, anyways. So, and Manny MUA was a Snapchat picture, which I feel was taken out of context. But I'm going to get back to that. And Laura Lee had a really, really racist tweet. Like, yeah, that was bad. And I looked at it and I was like, whoa. I was pretty like, wow, that is really, really bad. Like, that's really, really racist. And she obviously said some really, really racist things. Her tweet was from 6 years ago. I'm not sure how many years she's been on YouTube. I really don't know. I know that she had hit 5 million subscribers, and now she's only got like 4 point something million something subscribers. So a lot of people unsubscribed from her over this. Which, you know, understandable. Even with it being 6 years ago, I understand people just being like, whoa. She made an apology like yesterday. She put it up, and a lot of people felt it was insincere and fake. I don't agree. I think she was being sincere. I think she did a bad job of editing it. Like, it's just very choppy. I think that she, you know, was trying to figure out what to put in, what not to put in. And that may seem insincere. And I can understand why it would seem insincere. Like, you know, who knows what she was saying in between. I think that she didn't know what to do. I think she really is kind of beside herself. And yes, I think that she's worried about her channel as well. Of course she is. Of course she is. But I do also think that that was 6 years ago, and she has spoken out in the past year about beauty companies being racist with their color shade ranges and things of that sort. And I really don't think that she is, don't think that she's a bad person. I think she's a person that made some big mistakes and said some messed up things. And I don't exactly feel bad for her. I pity her a little bit. But mostly I pity her family, because from what I understand, they've been getting a lot of crap, including like her like niece. And that's really wrong. Nobody should be going after her family. It has nothing to do with them. You know, it really doesn't. And that's not cool. And I think this is the problem with online personalities like this. When you get to that million point on YouTube, people don't think of you as a human being anymore. And when you do something messed up, they have this mob mentality, and they go after you with everything and don't even think about what they're doing or saying. It's the same thing with celebrities. When a celebrity does something, everybody goes after them, you know, ablazing, without a thought to their families or the people around them, or maybe this was just some stupid mistake they made, and so on and so forth. Now, do I think that we should love racists? No. I mean, if I was a Christian, I suppose I would look at it as you're supposed to love everyone. But I'm not a Christian. But I do believe in being kind to people. Should you be kind to a racist? That to me is a complicated question. If somebody is racist and proud of it, and not trying to change that part of them, then no, they don't deserve any kindness. If someone is inherently racist, or, you know, they say things without realizing that they're being racist, and you try to educate them and they're apologetic, I think that that is something where you should be kind, because they're not a bad person. They're not trying to be. Now, I don't know if Laura Lee is super racist now in her life. I know she was 6 years ago. But people do change. If you knew who I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you might not like me. I did some shitty things, especially in my 20s. Especially. Like, before I had my daughter that you see, so many things. And this is what I'm always like, God, I would never want to hit 1 million subscribers, because people are going to dig up stuff on me, and it's going to be a shit show. Like, and I think about that sometimes. I'm like, oh my God. And not that I ever think I'm going to get 1 million subscribers, but I think, God, I don't think I'd ever want to. It just might not be a great time for me. Because it seems like once somebody hits 1 million subscribers, they are the devil. And people look for reasons to dislike them. Now, anyways, going back to this thing, Gabriel Zamora made an apology letter. I saw a lot of people say that it was a half-ass letter. I disagree. I was like, a half-ass letter would have been if they said like 3 sentences. He wrote a long-ass letter. And he seems very sincere in his apology. Not just about what he said when he was younger, but also or about the N-word that he said, but also to Jeffree Star. He also apologized. To the other people in the picture, he apologized because he put that up without talking to them about it. And from what I've seen, especially with Manny MUA, he has not said much on the subject of Jeffree Star. Like, both Jeffree and him have said things, but they don't tend to say names. But there was at one time I saw a snap of Manny MUA where he said, listen, people, he was like, I don't want to talk about this. He was like, it's between me and Jeffree. And he was like, I do not hate Jeffree. He was like, I wish him all the happiness. And he was like, we just have parted ways. Things happened. And we're just not getting along anymore the way that we did before. He was like, but I do not hate him. And I was like, well, that's really awesome. Because people do. Friendships end. It's a part of life. And we have no way of knowing truly what went on. We can hear Jeffree's story. We can hear Manny's story. And the true story is probably something in between. So we don't know. And it's really none of our business what happened between them. Or what happened between any of these people. And the Snapchat screenshot that was put up, I was just like, that could be racist. It also could not be. It has him, he's in the back of a car. And I actually think I remember this snap as well. And he had this look of kind of confusion and not sure what to do kind of face. And especially for Manny. Manny is he's very, like, his expressions are vibrant. Like, they're kind of over the top. So something that might, like, it always just seems more than it should be. Which I think may also be why people are taking it this way. But the little word thing on the Snapchat was, my Uber driver doesn't speak English. But that was it. It did not say, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this jerk. It didn't say anything nasty about it. It just said, he doesn't speak English. Now, the next snap could have been, I don't know how to communicate with him. I don't know how to tell him, like, where I'm going. I mean, when you're in the back of an Uber, you usually talk to your Uber driver. And if you can't communicate with them, you might be just like, I don't know what to do because they don't speak English and I don't speak their language. This has happened to me before where I've just been like, this sucks because, you know, honestly, I hate calling up Chinese food restaurants because they never understand what I'm saying and I feel awful about it and I get really, like, rambly and weird, and then sometimes I've even hung up because they don't know what I'm saying and I don't know what they're saying, and I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I could just order online. And actually here we have a place that you can order online now, and I always order from them because I don't have to talk to anybody and get anxiety about it. Now, does this mean I'm racist against them? No, it means that I just don't understand them. They don't understand me. So it's a hard conversation, and I don't want to have it because it makes me anxious, and I just don't want to do it. It does not mean I hate on them. It does not mean that I think that they need to go learn English or anything of that sort. I'm not like that. And I highly doubt Manny is. One of the reasons I highly doubt it is because most people that don't speak English in this country speak Spanish or Portuguese or some form of it. And he is Mexican. Like, obviously he was brought up here and speaks English, and I don't think he speaks like a lot of Spanish or and I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I think Mexicans speak Spanish. If I have that wrong, I apologize. I don't know. So I just feel like that's all you could dig up on him, because that's the only thing I've seen. If there are other things that they've found that he said, then I apologize for that. Maybe he is like really racist. But if that's all you could dig up on him, I really don't think that he's much of a racist there. But, you know, I was going to be doing a review of his palette soon, and now I'm like, should I do it? Should I be doing it? Because, like, nobody's going to watch it. Everybody's hating on him. Which really sucks, because I really wanted to do that review. So you let me know if I should do it or not still. Let me know, because I'm not sure if I should bother doing it. I might just do it anyways, because it's something I wanted to do. And as for Nikita Dragun, as I said before, she's half Mexican and half Asian. I think Japanese. I'm not sure about that. When I went to look it up just to check on it, I remember her talking about it once. When I went to look it up and check on it, all I could find when I Googled it was Asian, which I'm like, well, that's a lot of different things. Like, but that's what it said. It was half Mexican, half Asian. She's also trans. And I have loved her because she's been so honest and so forthcoming, and I think she's the sweetest thing. And I really don't think that I really can't imagine that she's like this horrible racist person when she has so many minorities. It's still possible. It is still very possible. One of the most racist people I've ever met in my life was a black preacher. I'm not joking. He actually married me and my husband. I didn't know at the time because we did that all very quickly, and it was somebody that my husband knew. I didn't know him, and we only talked once before the wedding. Afterwards, he would come into my shop a lot, which I also thought was weird, but I was like, that's cool. Because, you know, I had this new age shop at the time, and he would come in and ask for, like, weird stuff. But he also would come in, and sometimes he would just go on and on about Chinese people. He hated, he was proud of it. He was like, they're awful, horrible people. We should get them out of this country. I mean, he really said things like this. And I was just like, I was shocked. Because to me, you know, I was young. I didn't get it. I didn't realize that, like, you could be racist when you're of a minority. I just assumed that people of minorities wouldn't be, you know, racist towards other minorities. You wouldn't say things about other minorities because you already have enough problems. You know, so why would you do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you? But just because you've been through something doesn't mean you'll be understanding to someone else. That so my battery was giving me a little bit of trouble there. So yeah, that was probably the most racist person I ever met in my life, because I never heard anybody go on and on about something to that extent. I mean, I've heard people say nasty things, but it's usually one nasty thing and then it's dropped. This guy would go on, like full on rants about Chinese people. This was a preacher too. To me, it was like, I was brought up that spiritual people do not say things like that. As I have grown, I have learned that that's not true. And like I said, I wasn't always the nicest person either in my childhood. And I was surrounded by people who, even though were not like outwardly racist, stuff was said sometimes. And when you are around that, you don't think of anything of it. And I think that's another thing, is we grow and we learn. And as I said before, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to realize your mistakes and say, wow, that was messed up of me, I'm sorry, it makes a difference. And not everybody believes that, and I realize that, and I'm probably going to get hate from people who are like, once a racist, always a racist. And I'm just not a believer in that. I believe in forgiveness. And I believe in giving people second chances, third chances. Yeah. And yes, I've gotten walked all over because of it. But I've also met some wonderful people because of it that have turned their lives around. And I myself am a person who turned my life around. I've done some horrible things in my past. But that's not who I am today. And none of those people, I think, are those people today either. And I think they're all sorry. And yes, I think they're sorry that they got caught too. Of course they are. But I also think that they sincerely are like, oh, I did dumb shit when I was younger. Or I did dumb shit that day, and I shouldn't have done it. And that's just my opinion. And I'm telling it to you guys because for some reason I can't get this out of my head. So I decided to tell you that that's what I think. And you're probably not going to agree with me. And I'm okay with that. I just hope that you're still okay with me not agreeing with you. Because I think that most people don't mean to be cruel or nasty. I think some people do. And yes, some people will never change. But I think most people will. I think most people want to, change. They want to be kind. It's just, I believe that we all have good and bad in us. And, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to overcome the bad and be the better person that we strive to be. But we can all do it. And I think that includes forgiveness. But I realize for some people, it's really, really hard to forgive. And that's okay too. I understand. And I do know where you're coming from. So it's okay. I guess that's all I got to say. I'm not going to say my usual stuff at the end. I just wanted to put this out there. And like I said, I'm not going to make like a big deal out of this. I'll tell you it's here. And that's it. If you come and look at it, you do. If you don't, that's okay too. It doesn't matter to me. I'm expecting a lot of thumbs downs, to be honest. But I still love you guys anyways. Bye.